Welcome to the Off the Tools podcast, in association with the Worcester Bosch 8000 lifestyle range, with your host, Wayne Bettess.
Welcome to this episode of Off the Tools. Today I am joined by the founder of a company called Hiber. His name is Killian Pender. Welcome to the show, Killian.
Thanks very much, Wayne. It's good to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. We're down in central London. You've got a fantastic office set up here. It feels very 21st century, I'd say.
Good.
Seems nice, relaxed sofas.
Yeah.
It seems a good environment to be, definitely.
Thanks very much.
For the guys that are listening, they may not have heard of you or your company. Can you just give us a brief introduction to who you are?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Killian Pender. I'm the founder and CEO of Hiber. I'm Irish. I'm sort of 34. And Hiber started as a business about 18 months ago.
Wow, okay. So were you born and bred in Ireland, or have you been in the UK long? Or?
Yeah, born and bred in Ireland. I was there until I was about 21, 22. And then I came across here and did a master's degree and been in London for about 12 years now.
Right, okay. So obviously we're here for a reason. I discovered Hiber a few months ago, and I've been trialing it within my own business, and I've become a big fan of what you do.
Great.
So can you just explain to our listeners what is Hiber?
Yeah.
You know, what do you do?
Yeah.
Why did you start it?
Yeah,
go
sure.
from there.
So Hiber is a business that exists to make local tradespeople thrive. So today, obviously, we're very focused on boilers, but over time, we want to expand into other areas. So Hiber as a business, it kind of started to take shape back in early 2018. And what we started doing is originally we wanted to be effectively a boiler installer. So we wanted to be like a lot of your listeners and trying to effectively deliver a really good service to customers in delivering boilers. And basically what we found was that the group of people who are here at Hiber, actually what we are much better at is we're really good at the technology and the finance and some of the sort of back office stuff involved in the installation of boilers. Mm-hmm. And what we find is, there's obviously tons of great installers out there. And what we decided was how we can have a much bigger impact on the industry is rather than trying to install boilers ourselves, is if we effectively partner with local installers to help make their business more successful.
Right, okay. You used the word partner.
Yeah.
So to me, that I like the feel of that, because then I'm not just a customer of Hiber.
Yeah. I
feel like that it's a partnership. And so far, like I said, I've been testing it about 2 months now. Okay. I think we've installed 5, 6, 7, something like that, boilers through you guys. Yeah. I say through you guys because we're not subcontracting to you. Do you know, it's a partnership in respect to what you can offer my business that my business didn't offer at that point.
Exactly.
So go through some of the key things that you can do for small businesses like myself.
Yeah, so that's the one thing. So the key thing, exactly like you say, Wayne, is the idea of partnership. So we're not an app, we're not a finance company, we're here in a partnership to help you basically be more successful. So if we start off like the way some of the services that we offer today is we have a quoting tool. So in the quoting tool, you can go and select all the parts that you need in order to pick the boiler. You can decide how much labor you want to charge. You can email the quote to the customer there and then. You can text the quote to the customer there and then. And then a big part of the offering is we take care of a lot of the admin in the back end. So once you accept the order, our operations team go and order the parts for you. We also pay for the parts for you. So I know one of the challenges that engineers have sometimes is, it's a bit tricky when they have to front up the cash for the boiler. So we pay for the boiler for you up front. You then go and do the install as normal. Then you can use our app to issue the invoice to the customer. We register the boiler with the manufacturer for you, and we register the boiler with GasSafe as well. So effectively, you can see is the way we do is what we try and the overarching emphasis is we let you guys do what you're really good at, basically dealing with your customers and doing the installation, and we do what we think we're good at, which is all the technology, the operations, all the back end, and the finance. And the way sort of one of our sort of top engineers describe it, which I thought was a really nice way, it's as if you're able to keep the independence of having your own business, but you have this big company behind you helping you be more successful. Yeah. And that's really what we're about.
And I would definitely say that so far, I'm seeing them benefits because when you add up how many quotes we go to do and the amount of time that everything takes, whether it's just to price it up where you've got to go to the merchants, find the prices, or wait for an email to come back and then do it. Yeah. Do you know, on average, I'd say it was taking a good hour, do you know, of time just dilly-dallying about trying to put together a quote. Yeah. Whereas the built-in tool in the app is effectively like a basket, isn't it? Like a shop.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And there's lots of different packages. Yeah. So depending on what boiler it is, you can quickly add stuff to the basket, and then it's like a couple of clicks and that sends it all to everywhere it needs to go. And it's really good. Yeah. The big selling point for me, and I believe quite a few people are going to be interested in this, is the actual finance offering that being a partner with you guys allows us to offer. Yeah. So can we touch on how that works and what goes on with that side of it? Yeah, sure. So we realized in our own business when we were selling boilers before that finance is really important in selling boilers. So we think about sort of 30 to 40% of boilers in the UK are bought with finance. So the way it works today is we have obviously in order to offer finance you need to be regulated. So we have the permissions from the financial regulator for it to be able to offer finance. Okay. And we also have a partnership with a bank, with Hitachi, to be able to offer finance. So the way it works is when an engineer onboards with us, if they'd like to offer finance with us, they sign a contract. And effectively what that contract says is it's as if they kind of piggyback on our permission, our financial permission. Okay. So a way you can kind of think about it is, let's say you're insured on your car and your friend wants to borrow the car for the weekend and you add him to your insurance. It's a similar kind of concept. Right, okay, that makes more sense now you've said that. Yeah. I can see the logic there. Yeah. So with that financing offering, what's the process? Yeah. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun there. Sure. I want to come back to something that you said about signing a contract and things. I just want to make it perfectly clear that we're not paying to join Hiber, are we? I was just going to say that's really important. So one of the great things about Hiber is there's no upfront fee for anything, and there's no monthly fee for anything, and that includes the finance. There's no fee associated with you offering finance to your customers. So for any of you guys that still, after the end of this episode, once we get all finished, you may be unsure. Really, there's no risk, is there? No, you can go on the website, have a little look, sign up, and if it's not for you, then shake hands and walk away. And if it is for you, then move forward. That's absolutely it. So when one of our sort of business development partners meets with an engineer, they're able to download the app there and then. They're able to trial the app there and then. There's no sign up. And like I say, what we generally encourage engineers to do is do a couple of installs through us, see how it is, and then almost always they convert and then we're off to the races. Yeah, no, definitely. So we'll go back to the question I was going to ask before we jump back to that. Yeah. So with the financing, how does it work? At the end of the day, we want our money. Yeah. So if we quote a job and the customer wants it through finance, maybe I'm wrong, but this is the way I've sort of experienced it, is that then one of you guys call that customer and go through the application, or I believe you can email it as well. Is that right? Exactly. Yeah. So if I explain it sort of nice and simple, so exactly like you say is, so even though you borrow our permission, we think it's easier if you don't have to say too much to the customer of finance because it is a regulated industry. So what we say is there's two options for you to be able to offer finance in your home. The first option is exactly like you say. So when you're in the home, either you can have the customer call us or ask us to call the customer. One of our operations agents will call the customer. They will do the decision there and then over the phone. So basically about 80-90% of the cases, the customer is able to get a decision there and then in the phone. Okay. Right, which is good. And then we could just email the contract and they press accept and then you're off to the races. Excellent. The second option is if the customer wants, we can email them the link. They click on the link, they go through the application. Again, the decision is pretty much instantaneous. Right, okay. So today we have an acceptance rate about 82%. Okay. So basically pretty high acceptance rate. And then
So talk about two other things. One is when do you get paid?
Yeah.
Always important. And then the finance options that we have. So today we have 3 finance options. Mm-hmm. So we have a standard 9.9% APR, and we can offer that to customers over 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years.
Okay.
2 years is where the highest acceptance rate is.
Yep.
The second option is a buy now, pay later.
Yep.
Under the buy now, pay later option, the customer pays nothing for the first 12 months. And if after 12 months they haven't repaid the loan, then it flips into a 5-year loan at 9.9%.
Okay.
If they decide to pay in the first 12 months, there's just a one-off admin fee of £27.
Right, okay.
That's it. So that's a very interesting option now coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a very attractive option.
Yeah, no, definitely. So am I right in thinking there then, for those that are suitable to that, you can get 12 months interest-free effectively, can't you, with that? But, yeah.
Other than there's £20, exactly.
Yeah.
And the final option is the 0% finance option.
Yeah.
Now, the way 0% finance works, it's not sort of named perfectly. People pay interest, right?
Yeah. Nothing is free. No one's going to give away money.
Exactly. Sadly, it's not. And so the way it works is, I'll just talk about the 1-year option to keep it simple. But say, effectively, there's about a 4.5% charge for a 1-year option.
Yep.
So let's say that you, the job, just to keep the math simple, let's say the job is £1,000.
Yep.
Then there's a £45 that needs to be paid by you in order to offer the 0% finance to the customer.
Yeah,
that's probably the simplest way to describe it.
Yeah, and for those that might put up a few defences, it's for me. So far since I've been offering it, it's not complicated. All it in essence is another material cost. So when I'm working out my total cost to that customer, if I feel that they are likely to want the 0% options, I then just add a little bit extra labour or however you want. You can call it whatever you want, mark up, whatever.
That's right.
So in essence, it's not really costing me anything.
That's right.
In the rare occurrence, I suppose there will be, I'm sure at some point in the future, a customer that I wasn't expecting to have finance that then wants the finance.
Yeah.
We're talking such a small... it's a small percentage within what we're doing, and generally you're going to know that they want that beforehand, since that gives you that time to make sure that your offering is in the right place before it goes any further, aren't you?
That's right. That's exactly it.
I've so far with the success I've had is with the 0%.
Great,
so
good.
I can put down at least 5. So I'm pretty certain we're at 7 or 8 installs for
fantastic,
you,
yeah.
and I'm pretty certain 5 of them I wouldn't have got without the finance option.
Fantastic.
That's not me just trying to sell Hiber. That's general fact. We've had a fairly quiet year,
right?
Which is probably one of the reasons I was attracted to you, because I was looking to mix it up a little bit and sort of see what I can do to sort of differentiate myself from everybody else. And when you put that into context, for a small business, 5 extra boilers in the 2.5, maybe 3 months that I've been partnering with Hiber, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's paid for my Christmas, my kids' Christmas, and everything.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
That's why I've bothered to come down to London for the game, because I want to. For I don't know if you're aware, Killian, but a lot of I have a group called Off the Tools, which is where the podcast sort of grew out to, and the whole point I ever started Off the Tools was because I wanted to help small businesses, because I am a small business, and I'd seen the pitfalls of trying to get bigger and trying to manage money and stuff. So so Hiber for me ticks that box, which is why I'm sort of coming here and speaking to you, because anything that can help a small business, I think, is worth listening to, because it's a lonely place. You're doing very well now. You've got a nice office. You've got plenty of staff around you. But for most of the people listening, they're in their van, on their own.
Sure.
Maybe an apprentice, maybe one engineer. So the more support there is out there for us, the better. Really.
And this is the great thing about Hiber, right? Like, the reason we have these nice offices is because of how we've been able to partner with the engineers. It's very much a partnership. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for engineers. We're nothing without our engineers. And so that come on to a sort of nice other point is that we do those things that we sort of spoke about today with our partners. So, the quoting tool and the working capital and offering finance. And I guess something else we didn't mention is we have negotiated with a lot of the manufacturers 10-year warranties.
Right.
So even if you're potentially not accredited with certain manufacturers, by working with us, you're able to get access to 10-year warranties, which you might otherwise not be able to.
So, for example, then I'm not an accredited installer for Valiant. But I can still, if I'm fit one of their boilers with Hiber, I can offer a 10-year warranty. Is that correct?
That's right. So we have basically negotiated 10 years with Valent and a number of other manufacturers, which often engineers, unless they've done a lot of work with certain manufacturers, they're not able to offer the 10-year warranty.
Right. Okay. So that again opens up lots of different avenues for potential business, doesn't it? If you can offer them rather than compete. If there's a Valiant installer in the area, you can now then compete with that larger warranty and things like that.
Exactly.
As well.
And look, the thing that you said about helping small businesses, that's exactly what we're about.
Yeah.
That's 100% what we're about. So today, like I said, we're starting with the app and the warranties and the finance. But over time, we want to offer more and more to our partners. So one of the things that we do today, for example, is, again, some of the engineers say, listen, again, I'm fantastic at installing boilers and dealing with customers. I'm not great at my social media presence. Mm-hmm. My checker trade, I'm not getting much business, but I'm paying for it every month. I have a Facebook, but I'm not really generating much leads. Our team, either sort of our business development partner or the account manager, so when you onboard with Hiber, you get to sign both of these people. They can help you design your social media presence. So you can we can help you with a logo, we can help you do finance ads, we can help you make sure that you get in the best place with your checker trade. There's a lot of things that we can do.
Yeah.
Another thing that we're trying to do is give guys, if they're interested, some tips on selling boilers.
Yeah.
So I was in Liverpool last week, and we had about sort of 20 engineers come. And basically, when we were selling boilers to customers, so we were doing direct to customers, just to be clear, we don't do that at all anymore, but we learned a lot when we did do that. When we started, our conversion rate was about 25%. So what I mean is, when a customer approached us and we got to the home, we converted about 1 in 4 of those when we started. When we finished, we were converting about 40%.
Wow.
And so we learned a lot over that whole period. And so one of the nice things that we can do now is we can tell some of the tips that we have learned to our partner engineers. And hopefully you kind of get a bit of a flavor that basically what we're about is we want to help businesses like yours be successful in as many ways as we can. Because as you're more successful, we're more successful, and we can do stuff in the future, like we can potentially help you with your accounting, potentially help you with your tax, all that stuff that you don't want to deal with, that we're kind of in a good place to deal with, we want to help you with.
Right, okay. So there's, so what you're doing now is in essence the start.
Exactly.
This is your initial offering.
Exactly.
And you're going to look to sort of add and build value as you go, helping us as best as possible.
Exactly, and like you say, it's really great to hear you about this 5 additional installs. Yeah. There's quite a few engineers. So one of our top guys, when he started with us, he was doing about 2 or 3 a week.
Yep.
He's now taking on an apprentice. He's doing like 6 a week.
Wow. Okay, so nearly doubled it.
Yeah, and one of the reasons he was able to do that is because of our quoting tool and because we do all the admin, the ordering, the invoicing, we're able to give you back so much time.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just, on the ordering part, because when I met Ashley, who is my rep,
exactly.
Whatever, you have a fancy term for her, but she's my rep in essence.
Yeah.
She obviously mentioned this, and I was a bit like, well, what's the point? It's only ordering a boiler.
Sure.
But since using it now, I can see the time that I'm saving messing about, because
that's it.
In the app, I get a notification. It says, right, my parts will be delivered at the chosen where I want it, so I get to choose where it goes.
Exactly.
What day I want it, and it just happens now. So all I've done to get to that point is press accept on a quote. You guys have sorted out the finance with the client.
Yeah.
You've then sorted out the materials for the client. Yeah. And then we then pick up the boiler or get it delivered, whatever option you want to go for. Yeah. We go and fit the boiler. Yeah. And then we press another button. Yeah. And then the money hits my account fairly quickly.
That's it.
On that note, because we sort of missed that bit.
That's right, fair.
When it's a finance job, what's the payment? Like, are we waiting 7 days?
Exactly.
Or
Good,
what happens?
You're spot on. So if it's a finance job, you will get paid typically about 24 hours after the install is completed. So it's super quickly. You just let us know.
For the record, every one that I've done, I've actually got paid on the same day.
Oh, perfect.
That I've pressed complete. So I'd say we've completed between sort of 2 and 4 o'clock, I guess.
Great.
And by the end of that day, they've all been paid so far.
Fantastic.
I was told that the average is about 24 hours.
Good, yeah. We're trying to get that even quicker and quicker because, look, we know everybody wants to get paid quicker, and so over time we'll get that down. But today we say.
So just on a bit of curiosity there, this not really, well, it is relevant, but
sure.
So where's that money sitting? So once they've been accepted, the customer's been accepted, right? So they've said £3,000, there you go, that's yours.
Yeah.
Do you guys get that money and have it holding until we tell you it's done, or does that still stay with the finance company?
Yeah, so good question. So what happens is when you tell us it's done, we use our own money to pay you.
Right, okay.
And we tell the finance company that it's done, and they pay us within about 3 days.
Oh, okay. So you're absorbing that time delay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we know it's important that you guys want to get paid ASAP, and so we say we'll pay you, and we'll kind of take the risk, and then the finance company pays us in a few days' time.
Right, I've gotcha. Okay, yeah, that was just more of a personal curiosity.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure exactly how that side of it worked.
Of course.
So how many people have you got using Hiber at the moment, partnering with you guys?
Yeah, so look, we came up with the idea for the model that we're doing today sort of back in sort of December last year.
Yep.
So like I say, we're very at the sort of only start of our journey. And today there's about sort of 150 engineers that are working with us.
Yeah.
So more sort of joining constantly, and we're always looking for great engineers to work with.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have our website's hiber.com, and if you go to hiber.com, you can put in your details, and one of our sort of, as you say, one of our reps, one of our business development people will get in touch and can sign you. We'll either give you a rep in your area, or we can sort of do it over the phone as well if we're sort of not active in your area.
Yeah, but so right on that area there, this is what you're offering now. But let's learn a little bit about who you are as the founder, as the owner.
Yeah.
Where did you? So you said you were obviously born in Ireland.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit more about you as a person.
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
So I was born in Ireland. Used to play decent amount of sort of tennis. Was averagely good, although I got beaten by Jamie Murray, so I think that makes me less good. Who couldn't beat Jamie even? And so then went to university in Ireland. Really loved it, but I was always kind of very, very interested coming to the UK. I started my career doing sort of finance, different types of financing things, and then I got interested in the sort of energy space, sort of boilers, solar panels, potentially sort of other renewable energy stuff like batteries.
Yep.
I started to get interested in that stuff back in sort of 2013, 2014. And then I sort of took the leap and left my job around sort of then, and then hopefully people don't think it's a swear word, but I was sort of involved for a while in the Green Deal finance company.
Right. Yeah.
So when the funding for that got pulled in 2015, I thought it was an interesting idea, and so actually ended up sort of buying that company with some investors.
Okay.
And that's how I was first very actively involved in the industry.
Yep.
And then Hiber sort of spun off from that back in 2018.
Right. Okay. So where do you see Hiber going? What's the 5-year vision then?
Yes.
Where are we heading?
That's a great question. So we want to be the business that makes local tradespeople thrive. Mm-hmm. So we want to be the business in the background helping local tradespeople with every aspect of running their business. Yep. We're starting very much with boilers, but over time we want to expand into other areas. So what we're finding, for example, is a lot of the guys who do boilers also do bathrooms, even though everybody seems to hate bathrooms. Everybody. But a lot of people said, hey, could you also do this in bathrooms? So we think bathrooms might be the next area that we expand to. But then there's a question of, okay, well, would we think about doing kitchens, or would we think about doing solar panels and all those kind of other areas? Yeah. And that's been the ambition. So the ambition for us is in 5 years, if you are working as a local tradesperson, we want to be the business that helps make you more successful in every aspect of running your business. And that's what we're trying to shoot for.
Right. Excellent. At least you know where you want to go, because so many people don't. I don't know if you ever listened to any of my shows, but we interview such a variety of different people. So from small one-man band companies to obviously bigger companies that have hundreds of employees, and it's the variety that I think is key. Getting ideas from all these different people just helps everyone drive forward, doesn't it?
That's the thing, and that's why it was really fun. That's why it was really fun for us with the sort of giving tips on selling boilers, is because we learned a little bit about that, and it's really nice to sort of meet engineers who've been doing this for quite a while and say, I hadn't thought about that. And exactly the same way with your podcast is a lot of people are very experienced, they've run their own business, but I hadn't thought about this or hadn't thought about that, and yeah.
So on the sales area, I think that's a great place to start helping people, because most of us aren't trained salesmen or saleswomen. You know, we've done apprenticeships, we've got our trade, got our tools, and we've gone out and worked.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, I've spent a lot of time and money on personal development and gone through sales trainings and things. And the difference it's made for me as a person and as a business owner is phenomenal. So I think if there's workshops that you can put on in that, especially if you've got real life sort of reference points and experience on what's going on. Yeah. Because there's a big area for people to embrace learning more. Yeah. So I think that's a very noble thing to do. Yeah. If you've got that knowledge to be able to share it.
That's it. And like, again, it's going to that idea of partnership, right? And again, because if we can give tips to our partners and they can sell more boilers.
Because if I can sell 10 more boilers a month, then you know you guys are going to be making better money as well.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And that's the really good thing about us is we want our partners to be as successful as possible because we will both benefit. Yeah. And that's why I think it's sort of set up very much like that.
Yeah. I like that idea. It's sort of like John Lewis, isn't it? Idea where they're not employees, they're partners. Yeah. But what that instills is a want for both parties to succeed, doesn't it? You know, the partner with you guys obviously wants to earn more money and wants to grow their business, and you can then alleviate a lot of the problems. Because I know for one, when I've got my wife works in the office and I've got a couple of engineers, so I have a little bit more time than most sort of one-man band companies. Yeah. But when I was on my own, I'd have this pile of guarantee certificates or not even the certificates, like the cards that needed registering. Sure. And then there'd just be endless receipts and stuff. So being sort of alleviating any of that pain point for me would have been a godsend. Yeah. So.
And that's our ambition. Our ambition is basically to get that basically, you know, hopefully as we develop more technology, as our installers do more installs through us and we have more money to invest in technology, that hopefully at some point, I don't know, is it 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, that almost you'll have no paperwork at all. Yeah. You'll have our app and all of your jobs will be there, but all the registering will be done by us, all the gas save, everything will be just done by us, and this is sort of completely paperless.
So obviously for those that haven't obviously tried Hiber yet, the app is really clean. It flows because there's lots of different apps out there for job management and everything like that. And what it looks like, I may be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're in control of the development of that, because there's been a couple of little bits that I've recommended and I've woken up the next couple of days and it's been added and it's like that don't happen that quick in normal life.
That's right. So we have we are constantly trying to improve and develop the app. So we have a team of 20 developers in Poland. Right. Okay. Plus another sort of 3 or 4 technology people who are based here in the office, and we are spending a huge amount of money on technology to make it better and better. Yeah. So we release updates somewhere between every 2 weeks to every 4 weeks. Right. And again, a lot of so first of all, the way we designed the app, as I said, because we installed about sort of 350 boilers before in our old business, we kind of know a little bit what it's like to go and do a survey. And so we have, you know, quite a few people within the business who used to be boiler installers, right? So they have a lot of experience, and so they were very helpful in designing how the app should look. Yeah. And we basically speak to engineers. One of the roles of our junior technology guy is he has to speak to a certain number of engineers every week to get their feedback. Right, okay. And so we constantly take that feedback on board when we're sort of developing the app.
It's a constantly evolving app, exactly. Then, isn't it? It's just going to become in. And what I also love is the chat feature.
Good, yeah.
Because when, like with anything, when I first signed up, there was bits that I didn't understand. There was bits that I had either misunderstood. Sure. And I could literally just go into the app. Yeah. Type it like a text message, and normally within a minute or so, you know, less than that normally, I'd get a reply from someone that would be answering my question or at least telling me that they're going to try and find the answer to my question.
That's it.
So, I haven't actually thought of that before, but now I'm looking back at it. Yeah. So, when you are testing it, feel free to use that, because that's what it's there for. Because Hiber, you can't get better if we're not telling you where things maybe aren't working as smooth as they should be. And you seem very open and willing to take that feedback, because some people aren't.
I mean, look, like I say, you are our partners, right? And so we want to. Our technology is only interesting if you use it. Yeah. And so what we're consciously trying to do is to say, okay, well, why aren't you using that feature? Oh, because that feature's crap. Well, okay, cool. Thanks for telling us. We'll change it, or we'll get rid of it. And that's it's super important. And like you say, the messaging in the app is great. It's basically like having kind of WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's it feels like a WhatsApp, doesn't it? Yeah. It's like instant. You see the little bubble saying they're writing and stuff.
Yeah,
so you know someone's there.
Yeah, and like I said, we know the team are here. We get that people work around the clock. So there's people in the operations team here from 7:30 in the morning when all the merchants open, up until 7 or sometimes even 8 p.m. at night. And there's also people on call at the weekend.
Right. Okay. So I knew you was open late. Yeah. I've used that at that time because, like you say, in our role, it's not 9 to 5.
No, exactly.
Sometimes we're at jobs at 7 o'clock.
Exactly.
So it's been very handy.
Yeah.
So the people that partner with Hiber, are they all sort of like one-man band businesses, or do you work with sort of lots of different size businesses?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the nice things about Hiber is we can actually partner, and we do today partner with a range of different types of businesses. So we partner with anything from the guy who might install kind of 20 or 25 boilers a year, where maybe he's doing a bunch of bathrooms or servicing instead, and all the way up to we have one guy who has a sort of a team of 16 engineers.
Okay, wow.
And he's kind of installing 50 boilers a month, and we install kind of everything. We work with everybody in between. Yeah. A lot of our engineers are kind of one-man bands, and it really depends. Some of them install kind of 50 or 60 a year, and some of them even kind of install more than that. So it's kind of a real mix of engineers.
Yeah. So you're not just limited to sole trader, on their own in the van. You have the capacity and the ability to work with lots of different shapes and sizes.
Exactly. Like a couple of our sort of top engineers are installing sort of 200 or 300 installs per year.
And that, for a lot of us, that's our aspiration. That's where we want to get to, and that's when you could really start seeing the time savings that you guys must implement. Because on a small scale, even for me, saving 45 minutes to an hour is really valuable because of the time, not the monetary value so much, more because of the time. It gives me an hour to work out or an hour to pick the kids up or whatever it might be. Yeah. But if you're a sort of company installing over 100 boilers, that 45 minutes to an hour is multiplying, and it becomes a serious saving then, doesn't it? So you're talking like monetary and time effort there.
And that's the huge thing. I think, exactly like you say, a lot of engineers, some engineers, when they sign up, the initial reason they sign up is because, I want access to finance, and obviously that's free. And what they'll do is they'll do their first finance job through finance, and they're like, wow, that's actually a lot easier. And then they realize, actually, I didn't realize, but I was spending, like you say, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours in every job, and now I get all that time back. It means I can do a bunch more stuff. Yeah. And that can be really helpful. So getting more time back combined with coming to one of our sort of selling workshops, and even one of our engineers, we've helped him set him up with some of the lead generation companies. Okay, yeah. So he's like a super ambitious guy. We wouldn't recommend this for everybody, but for people who are very ambitious, it can be a very helpful way to get new business and grow your business. Yeah, makes sense. It all makes perfectly good sense to me. And one thing that you just touched on there is that I didn't realise the time effort, the time saving. So I won't lie, I did it to get the finance. Yeah, sure. That was why I thought, risk free. Yeah. What can I lose? Yeah. But since then, I've obviously seen the benefits of all the other stuff that's going on, like the materials being ordered and everything like that. So it's all accumulating into it being a very good offering. It's a no-brainer, really. I can't see why people wouldn't give it a try. Yeah. One thing that a lot of people already are using are CRM systems. Sure, yeah. Right. So again, when I met with Ashley, my local rep, she said about the app, and I was thinking, it's just another app. I've got my CRM system that I use. Everyone that listens to me knows that I love a software called ServiceMate. Yeah. But I just thought I'd quickly explain how I'm doing it, because it's all well and good hearing it from you how it should be done or how you'd like it to be done. But I'm in the field, I'm out quoting, and the way I've done it is I've still generated every quote through my CRM system. So that's my hub, because it's got all my service reminders, it's got my database, it's got everything that I need at the moment. Obviously one day Hiber might have all of that, but at the moment
So I send my quote out. Obviously, then the customer asks questions, whatever, goes backwards and forwards. When they say, yep, we want it done, and so some have just said, yep, they want it done, and I've just ordered the materials through the Hiber app. But what I then do is I just do the quote in the Hiber app. So it's sort of double entry, but it's not, because I've got the pricing from the Hiber app already. Yep. So I've sort of saved it as a draft in essence, but I just haven't sent that copy to the client.
Sure.
I don't really know why. I'm just, this is a bit of a question and an explanation.
Yeah.
So I'm creating the quote in Hiber, but I'm putting it onto my CRM system, so I've got it all in there at the moment.
Sure.
And then when they accept, I then send it all off so it all just works seamlessly.
Sure.
How are most people doing everything through it?
Yeah, so I think because more of our engineers, a lot of our engineers are probably in that installing somewhere between kind of 40 to sort of 60 or 70 a year. Most of them are kind of doing everything through our app. I think the CRM point is really important. So that's something, again, functionality that we want to build in the future.
Yeah.
And I think, again, I imagine sort of a lot of your sort of listeners will do the servicing, and that's just like a great piece of business.
Yeah.
And, setting up the service reminders is something that we'll have in there. So, whatever, remind you, and email the customer 11 months after the install so that they know it's coming.
So that is something that the app will develop into.
Absolutely.
That's handy, because it looks... The way it runs is really clean. I don't really know how better to explain it. And if it could do more, which it sounds like it will do, then I can see that being just another sort of real reason to sort of go with it.
That's it. I mean, look, the ambition for us is that all of the sort of software bit that you may or may not use today will be just done through us. Yeah. So whether you use a CRM system, or whether you use a different, work tools, or whether you use, whatever, everything, the ambition is to be done through the Hiber app. Yeah. So you can sort of really run your whole business through the app. That's where that
software end is going. No,
exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
So one question that a lot of people are going to ask, because obviously money makes the world go round, is where's the money for you guys? Why are you doing it? Where does it come from? Can you just try and break that down as best as possible for a bit of clarity?
So it's the way we make money is really simple. From an engineer's perspective, when the engineer comes to the end of the install, what they'll see is effectively the sort of parts margin. And effectively the parts margin is how we make our money. And on the average install, it's something around the sort of 40 to 50 pounds. And sometimes engineers say, well, how do you think about that? Well, if we think about it this way, if we say, you value your time at least sort of £30 an hour or whatever, the idea is, given all of the time that we have saved, at least have 1 hour, 2 hours per install, that sort of justifies the fee. Plus, we've given you the access to finance for free. We don't charge you anything. Plus, we've given you access to longer warranties. Plus, we've helped you with your social media presence. And so for all that, how we sort of make money is that it's a hard parts margin.
Right, yeah.
How we as a business also make money that the engineers don't see is, again, because we're buying a lot of boilers, we get sort of different rates from the manufacturers. Yeah. But from an engineer's perspective, this sort of, 40, 50 pounds per install. And the way we justify that is to say, look at all the time that you've spent. How much do you value your time? Plus, we've given you the free finance, the warranties, and all that extra stuff. Yeah,
and like the extended warranties, that for 40, 50 quid, is paid for itself just on that without any other time savings, isn't it?
Because exactly.
Because I'm still testing it, I'm not. Sure. That's where I'm at. Yeah. I've been cross-referencing the pricing, the majority of the jobs, the time. So the price I've got from my supplier and then the price I've had from you with your margin has been less than that.
Perfect.
So even though officially it's showing you as maybe 60 quid margin or 50 quid margin, it's when I've looked at my actual pricing and subtracted the difference, it hasn't been that high. And just the ability, like I said, these 5 jobs that I've won while I've been testing, I wouldn't have won without having the 0% finance. For me, it's just an overhead that if I want to grow my business partnering with Hiber, it's just something that you have to accept, really, isn't it? Because it's everywhere. The wheels need oiling and things need to be made to go forward, don't they?
This is what we say is we're not the cheapest on pricing. We're very competitive. Yeah. That's why we are very competitive on pricing. And what we generally say to engineers is, engineers who've worked with us a bunch, who've done their 30, 40, 50th install through us, what we say is, they kind of get us as a business.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're kind of saying like, oh, Hiber are £50 off of this price and going to go to somebody else, you haven't got what we're about as a business. We're here to make you successful, whether it's the selling or the social media or the app. We're here with all these things.
Got to look at the bigger picture. Rather than just 100%. Look at that isolated sort of scenario.
The question is like, what could your business look like in 6 months with Hiber versus if I'm going to save 50 quid on this job? Yeah. That's what you need to think about.
Yeah, it's sort of no different to like if you're going to put an advert in a paper, for argument's sake. It's going to cost you money,
right?
To get yourself out there for the potential to do more. Yeah. And Hiber gives you that option to be able to do more. Yeah. So it's just like opening the door, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly. And some of our most successful engineers who have worked with us, like I said, one of our top guys was doing kind of 2 or 3 a week when he joined us. He's now doing 6 a week.
Yeah. And so he's doubled his business, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not going to be big. It's not.
I wonder if he's still moaning about the 40 or 50 quid.
And I can tell you right now, he doesn't. Absolutely, he's not. Right.
Yeah. I bet he ain't. No.
Right. Exactly. And this is the thing. Is like I'm not saying we can do that for every business. Yeah. But if you're interested and you're ambitious and you want to help grow your business, we're the partner to help work with you.
And I think nowadays as well, I think you've come at the right time because the market's shifting. There's obviously some big moves happening already. So you've got the likes of BOXT and even more scarily, you've got the likes of Amazon and Google that are, I think they're just literally sitting on the cliff edge waiting to jump into the pot, and because they're already doing it in America. Yeah. And basically we're a year behind, didn't we? 1 to 2 years behind. And so we're going to be under attack from all sides soon as a small industry. Yeah. And having the extra functionality and ability to do different things like that Hiber can help us do is perfect. I think, but you've got to be willing to look broader. You can't have it be narrow-minded. You need to look at where you are and where you want to get to, and how much effort, time, and blood, sweat, and tears it's going to take you to get there. Yeah. And if you can alleviate some of them stresses along the way, it's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, like one of the ways one engineer sort of put it really simply is to say, it's as if I work for if I get all the tools I would have got if I was working for British Gas, just in my own business. Yeah. So I have the super professional looking quotes, I can offer the finance, the ordering is super quick, the invoicing is super professional, I've been taught how to sell. It's like I get all of that stuff, and that helps me be more professional, that helps me win more business, and helps me grow my business.
Yeah, and what I've really liked, I've lost track if I've mentioned it, I don't think I have, is that it's presented me as a lot more professional company. Yes. So like when I'm at the quote, I just say, the office will order all the materials, so whereas before it was, I'll order the materials. Yeah. Or, our finance team. Yeah. That's right. What I say, we'll call you to so it gives this perception that you're not just mate from down the pub. Yeah. You're this professional business that is around to stay.
That's exactly it. Exactly. Just an obvious question is when our operations team call your customers, they say, "I'm calling from your heating company. I'm calling from Wayne Bett's heating company, right?" And so then it's all about your business.
And I just think that it just presents professionalism, doesn't it? It makes the customer feel more at ease because averagely, what we're talking, 2 to 3 grand must be the average sort of cost, isn't it? Time to factor in a few things. Yeah. So it's a lot of money to a lot of people. Yeah. So if you can reassure them that you're a professional, sort of robust business, it's only all going to help win more work, which is going to make me more money. Yeah. And then it really is a fantastic venture that you're doing, and I wish it all the success because I'm going to be sticking with it. I honestly am. Anyone that in the communities off the tools, Plum Chat, wherever you're listening to this, if you've got any specific questions, obviously I'm not an expert on Hiber, but I have trialed it, so feel free to message me. But the best way to find out more is by going to their website, which is hiber.com. Fill in your details. It's not going to cost you any money. You're going to have to spend a little time having a conversation with one of the reps to see if it's suitable and see what the ins and outs are. But I would definitely recommend it. Is there anything you want to end it on, or I think we've covered everything, haven't we?
No, that's perfect, Wayne. It's been fantastic. And thanks so much for coming down to meet us. It's great that you have a really good experience with us, and hopefully we can get a few more engineers to have a similar fantastic experience with us.
Let's hope so. Well, thank you very much for your time, Killian. Much appreciated.
Thanks very much, Wayne.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by Off the Tools in association with the Worcester Bosch 8000 lifestyle range.